These 10 half marathon race day tips will arm you with assurance and poise on race day, giving you free speed without applying any extra effort. Know that numbers 9 and 10 with mindset and practicality are the most important, so stick with me until the end. I'm going to say it how it is. Carb loading is a hoax for the half marathon distance. Your body's muscles as a woman can easily store 1,300 to 1,700 calories of glycogen in your muscles. Now, you'll also need readily available glycogen to convert into glucose for your brain and other vital organs. This will be incoming to your liver during your pre-race breakfast in the race itself so that you can get that extra burst of energy. But eating the heavy, typical spaghetti and bread Italian dish dinner the night before a race is more likely to send you to the porta-john than actually give you extra free speed. Instead, I want you to keep things normal and boring. Something like grilled chicken, mashed potatoes, and green beans with a dessert that's typically not dairy-laden, something like a piece of chocolate, would be a perfect pre-race dinner the night before your half marathon. Also skip beans, spicy ethnic foods, and dairy in the 24 hours before you race to ensure best digestion. Pre-race breakfast, opt for simple carbohydrates with some protein, some fat, no dairy, no citrus. Typical no-brainer that works really well for me is a bagel lathered in peanut butter, then sprinkle on raisins or blueberries. You're going to digest this really well, and it's the ideal macronutrients to perform at a high level. Now, the personal Ashley favorite is a bowl of Reese's Pieces Puff cereal with almond milk and then a scoop of peanut butter or almond butter on the side. This is giving you readily available carbs, a little bit of protein, a little bit of fat, and I've run my best times with this athlete's breakfast. If you have nausea and you just don't feel like eating anything, get down at least a banana or a piece of buttered toast, and this is going to set you up for better success than fasting before you race. Please, don't be Barbie doing all kinds of exotic stretching and kangaroo hops in the pre-race shoot lineup as you're waiting for the gun to go off. A, you're wasting energy that should be conserved for the course itself. B, you're increasing your chances of pulling a muscle since your body is about to go really hard during the race itself. Instead of doing what Barbie's doing, you're going to be smart and do a half-mile, 800-meter jog warm-up 20 minutes before the horn goes off. During this warm-up routine, work in your dynamic stretch routine as you jog, exactly like you've practiced for the entire 12 weeks for Firm 30 half marathon training. The goal is to keep your body warm and to prevent shivering, which wastes valuable energy right before the race. The best way to do this is to bring clothes that are throwaways that can be donated. A long sleeve shirt, sweatpants, put this on as you're warming up and keep it on until 2 minutes before the gun goes off. You can also wear just a plastic trash bag, cut a hole out, stick your head through. This will keep you dry, keep you warm so that you can run leaps and bounds faster and more efficiently than other women with equivalent physiological training adaptation simply because you started your race warm and they didn't. This one is a bit controversial. Wear a watch, but only for your overall run time. Don't have it on the face setting where you can see what your current pace is or what your overall pace is. I have run my best times when I hardly look at my watch. I'm talking about 4 times max for the whole time that you're running a half marathon. This way, you can't possibly be held back by an anchor of self-doubt thoughts that like to creep in when you know your current pace or your overall pace. Ugh, I started out so fast that I know I'm going to bonk this race. Man, I was going X pace and now I'm going so slow at Y pace and I'll probably be going at Z pace soon. The truth is, it's difficult to do mental math while you're running a race. And if you don't know your pace, if you can't predict what your overall finish time will be, and therefore you don't have the capability to potentially hold yourself back to what your full running potential pace capacity is for the half marathon distance. Instead, trust in your training and the race pace that you have learned to feel in Firm 30. Run the first half of the race conservatively at an efficient and consistent pace, and then pick it up for the remainder, knowing that you have trained for this specifically and you have it in you. Optimal performance hydration starts 24 hours prior to race day. Your urine needs to be a pale yellow. If you start to see that it's clear, you are setting yourself up with a red flag for hyponatremia, essentially overhydration. You're at especially high risk for this if you're in the week before your period when race day comes. Hyponatremia happens by accident with the best intentions by runners who want to really hydrate. It can easily be prevented by not overhydrating. Instead, stick to sipping an electrolyte drink such as Drip Drop the morning of the race in place of water. Sip your drink all the way up until about 30 minutes before the race and you'll be good to go. What to drink while you're racing. During a cold weather race, you need between 0 and 3 hydration stations. During a hot weather race, you need to start drinking 30 minutes in and then drink approximately every 20 minutes from there. Walk 6 to 8 paces as you're drinking your electrolyte drink through the aid station. Grab a cup of water and splash it on your chest and let it run down your neck and chest, or on your hair if you prefer. I like to alternate electrolyte drink, water throughout the entire duration of a hot weather race. The calories and fuel you consume will either make or break your race if you take over an hour and 35 minutes to run the half, which is for most women. Ultra speedy women who run around 90 minutes for the half marathon, you need no GU or 1 GU to run your fastest. If you do decide to take it at the 45 to 55 minute mark and ensure that you follow your GU or your chew blocks with water or electrolyte drink. Always wash it down. Women who run sub 2 hours, you'll take 1 to 2 GU. Take the first one 45 minutes into the race and then the second one at an hour and 15 if you need that extra boost. If your race takes over 2 hours, consume 2 to 3 GU total. The first one at 45 minutes, the second one at an hour and 15 minutes, and then the third, if and when you need a boost, most ideally right around an hour and 45 minutes into your race. Keep in mind that the average woman's body can only process about 300 calories per hour while running the half marathon. Even less than that if you're out there hauling, running as fast as you possibly can. But rest assured and peace of mind that if you follow the prescribed guidance, you'll have zero stress because all of the caloric math, it'll work out perfectly for you. From the luxury of your phone or your laptop, you signed up for a half marathon because you know this to be true, that comfort does not bring happiness. So you'll remind yourself while you're out there that you can do anything for 30 minutes or whatever it is you estimate the time that you have remaining, knowing that you will feel so accomplished and rewarded for the remainder of the day and also humbly content with your performance for weeks, months, and years to follow, knowing that you went out there and you gave it your honest best effort. Numbers 1 through 9 hinge on having properly trained your feet, calves, quads, glutes, hip flexors, abs, that you've increased your aerobic threshold and raised the ceiling on your lactate threshold, that you have trained to know what race pace feels like, and you've practiced your finishing kick and stand mentally certain that you've earned this level of fitness to do what fewer than 1% of women in the world will ever do in their life, which is to run a half marathon. So if you're not sure how to train progressively and efficiently for the half marathon, follow Firm 30 half marathon program to have every single detail all figured out for you. This is a resistance training program with all 30-minute workout videos that interweaves weight training, flexibility, injury prevention, and race-specific run programming with zero brain work or wasted efforts on your part. Signing up for a half marathon is an investment, so when you actually have a plan figured out for you, you'll follow it and make the investment 10 times as much value. Firm 30 will transform the way you think, the way you train, and the way you race. And of course, God will be kept at the center of all of it. Hi.
Something better than rocks.
What?
Young has it in his hands.
What is that?
It's all wood. It's like a drill.
That is so cool. I'm still filming, so I'm gonna need like 10 minutes left.
It's like this drill.
That looks like a horn or an antler.
I know, right?
It might be.
It's not.
Okay.
It's wood. Pure wood.
That is so cool. That's like the coolest thing I've seen.